Welcome back to the studio. I'm Alex Yemek. Today I'm gonna give you 3 reasons why you should divorce. The very first reason is domestic violence. Now, I'm gonna refer to a story I heard of a lady who was married to a so-called pastor in Nigeria. She was very popular because she had a very popular song, which is still popular until today, in Africa, in the diaspora as well. She was being abused by her husband for many years, and finally he killed her by beating her. Very unfortunate. I'm not in the business of calling out people, but this story is very touching, so it's very important that I kind of mention this. My heart goes out to the family of this lady, and in fact, the one reason why I didn't make this video earlier, because I wanted to give time to get used to this story. Hopefully the family is moving on by the grace of God. What is it that the Bible says about divorce, right? And why is this important for us to sometimes make this decision? When we look at the Bible, we always want to look at the Old Testament and the New Testament. In the Old Testament, there is a set of laws that were given to Moses. In these laws, there are 2 types. There's what I call ritual laws. Ritual laws are laws that involve things like making sacrifice of if you've done something wrong. For example, they'll say, bring a blemished lamb, give it to the priest would make the sacrifice to God. These are what I call ritual laws. And those were laws that Jesus Christ abolished because he was the ultimate sacrifice that would come and deliver the people. So those laws no longer apply. Now there's this second set of laws, which we call moral laws. Those laws still apply until today. There are some pastors who are saying, oh, well, the law doesn't apply anymore. Jesus Christ already said, but yes, ritual laws don't apply anymore, but moral laws still apply. And we find them in the 10 Commandments. In fact, Jesus confirmed the 10 Commandments. So they asked Jesus, what is the most important commandment? He responded, love God with all your heart, with all your soul and your strength, and love one another as you would yourself, right? So Jesus Christ reduced the 10 Commandments in 2 commandments. Love God with all your heart, with all your soul and your strength. That is the first 3 commandments. Love one another as you would yourself. That apply the 7 commandments, right? Now, you can, even reduce them in just 1 commandment. Love others. Love God and love others as you would yourself. The 10 commandments still apply, and every Christian must know them. Unfortunately, a lot of Christians don't know the 10 commandments. Now, we are looking at divorce. Why should we divorce in a case of domestic violence? The 5th commandment talks about you should not kill. Okay? You should not kill others. When we talk about killing, we're not just talking about killing other people, but we're talking about your own life as well. You have the obligation to protect your own life as well. It's just like for those of you who have been, in planes, right? When we're getting ready to take off, what is it that we usually hear? If an emergency occurs, a mask will drop. Wear your mask first before you help the other passenger or, a child most of the time. That's a little bit how it works. You must protect your own life before you believe that you can protect somebody else. So that is where you should not kill comes in. Protecting your own life. If a man put his hand on you, the very first time it happens, you got to leave him. You need to stop believing that it's going to change. The percentage of men who change is very low. In fact, most of the time when they change is because of the drastic measure the wife took. Now, there are also women who abuse their husband. We've seen this happening, although the percentage is low. Women need to understand something, right? You can't just hit a man thinking because you're a woman, you can just hit a man and get away with it. No. If you hit a man and he hits you back, that is not abuse. That is self-defense. He has the right to defend himself. You do not have the right to hit your husband just because you think you're women. Forget that. It doesn't work that way. And there are women also who are out there just lying. I know exactly what I'm talking about. You see a woman coming out and be like, oh yeah, my husband abused me physically. A lot of time if she says that, she's lying. Because a woman who's been abused will tell you exactly what happened to her. She will say, look, he beat me, he punched me, he pushed me and all of that. She'll tell you exactly that. But if she comes out and say, oh well, he abused me physically, she's lying. Most of the time she's lying. But if you know honestly that you are in an abusive marriage, please do not stay, believing that prayer will change something. Prayer only works when you help yourself. Okay? Prayer is not a substitute to your decision making. Prayer helps you make better decisions and take better actions. That's how it works. I can imagine this woman sitting up there praying every day, oh Lord, he's going to change. No, he didn't do it in purpose. He's going to change. He's a pastor of God and God is going to deliver him. No, God is not going to deliver him. In fact, God did not deliver him. Now, there are some women who are going to say, well, he has threatened me that if I leave, he's going to kill me. Oh, well, choose. Which death do you want? Do you want to die in staying in a marriage like we see, unfortunately, this woman died? Or you rather, him chasing you and killing you? In any way, you are going to die. However, there is a big opportunity that you can escape. If he tells you that he's going to kill you, go talk to someone. Speak to people around you. Okay, and tell them, stop trying to hide these things. Look at this woman coming in church every single day acting like nothing is happening in her house. I'm a wife of a pastor. I sing and all of that stuff, right? You can even hear from her song, that song that she sings, that she's sad. This is a very sad song. And you can see that, people express themselves through songs and all of that stuff. When you see people around you constantly talk about sad things or singing sad songs, you got to start asking yourself questions. What is going on in the lives of these people? And the children of this women, how old were they when these things were happening? Were they old enough to, to go out and talk about these things? Because if not, they're participating in this evil act. Excuse my language, right? It is very important that we understand this. Marriage is not a do or die affair. In fact, these pastors who today are saying, no, you should divorce, they were the same one telling you that you must stay in your marriage. Now to this, a tragedy happened. They're trying to tell you, oh, well, no, you got to leave. See, they change based on where the population or things are happening, right? They're looking for support. Obviously, most of these pastors are not there because they love God, because most of them don't study theology, because if you love God, you will study theology. No, they want to be popular. They want to dress nice. They want to show off. And they're teaching people all different type of things that are not true. Marriage is not a do or die affair. If you're being abused by your husband or your wife, please don't stay in that relationship. Leave as soon as possible. No, he's not going to change. Most of the time, they don't change, right? Second reason why you should divorce is if your husband or your wife is abusing your children, right? There are these relationships where men believe that only women should be taking care of children. That is not right. So they go out, do whatever they want to do, live their lives outside with women and doing their lives and all of that. Look, you can divorce that man because he's not there. What is the difference, right? What is the difference? He leaves, you're by yourself in the house taking care of the children. It will be the same thing if you just leave him. Some of these women are just walking outside, proud to say they are married. But yet, in fact, in reality, they're not married. They may be wearing a ring, right? They celebrated big weddings with a lot of money. Yeah. But in reality, the man is not there. So therefore, they're not married. You cannot continue to live this way and sending out this wrong message to people that, hey, you know what? Marriage is all rosy. Marriage is about sacrifice. It's about sacrifice. If you're not ready for marriage and you still want to, go out and run the streets, go do it and leave the woman alone or leave this man alone to find someone who's ready for the major sacrifice of marriage. Marriage is not a bed of roses. It is for grown-ups, people who realize that they are ready to give up their lives and to produce other lives and take care of their children and their families. If you end up with a man or a woman who does not understand the sacrifice of marriage, who are ready to run the street every single time something happens, or they still want to stay out there in the street and live their lives and party, nightclubs, and going to different parties, or even women who are living in churches. Some of these women, that's all they do. You see them go out, right? They go out to church, come back in the evening. Even staying in church all day is not right. If you're a married woman, you should know when to go to church and come back in the house and take care of your family. Some of these churches nowadays do not have a time where they end. A church starts at 9 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock in the morning, ends at 9 o'clock in the evening. That's not a church. Okay? That is not a church right there. If you're going to such a church as a married woman, specifically I'm talking about women. Women are the one making pastors be this way. A lot of them are out there sleeping with pastors. And then come back in the house with a Bible. Tell their husband, oh man, prayer was really good today. Man, that's unfortunate. That is not good. If you're one of those, or you see your wife out there in the church, going from church to church, choir practice every day, Bible study every day, and all of that, let me tell you, man, you know very well that she's not ready for marriage. You got to start making your decisions now. Same thing for men. You see them constantly out there going out, working hard, coming back late, and all of that stuff. Look, they're not ready for marriage. A lot of times they're probably not taking care of the children. They don't take time to spend with their children. They're not ready for marriage. They're not ready for sacrifice. So let them know right away that, hey, look, man, if you're not ready, please let me go find someone who's ready. You have the right to divorce at that time. Okay? The third reason why you should divorce is if there's a case of adultery, cheating in your marriage. Okay? We talked about sacrifice. All of us have to make those sacrifices. Okay? Man, you cannot marry a woman, promise her that you are going to be with her for the rest of y'all's lives, but yet you're out there running around with other women. Cheating is not acceptable. It is part of the 10 Commandments as well. You should not commit adultery. Sleeping with another woman outside of your marriage is adultery, and your husband or wife has the right to leave you at that moment. Now think about it. If you're a man, you wouldn't want your wife to be sleeping with other men, right? Same thing for the women. And I have heard about these marriages where couples are getting into talking about, oh, I want an open marriage. What is an open marriage? Okay, what is it? Now, what they're saying is that, yes, we're going to be together, we're going to be married, but I have the right to sleep with other men outside, or I have the right to sleep with other women outside. Let me tell you right now, that is not marriage. If you get into such a relationship thinking that you're married, you're not married. Get out of that relationship immediately. A woman or a man who tells you that they still want to sleep with another man or another woman while they're married don't love you. They don't want to be with you. They're telling you that because, right, they cannot find the person that they really love, and you just happen to be there, right, basically sad. A lot of time, right, it is women that I have seen who want this type of relationship. I've not seen too many men saying this, maybe because some of them just cheat and they don't have to say anything. But a lot of times, the women are the ones saying this. You know, she'll get into a relationship and say, look, we must have an open relationship because I still want to meet other men. That is not a marriage. Okay? That is not a marriage. You should get out of that relationship immediately because it's going to cause you problems later. Very important to understand. Now, thank you very much for listening to me once again. Like I always say, I'm not a preacher. I'm only a philosopher.